All right, welcome back, Blade Gang. This old sword with you, bringing you yet another blade review. And this is one I never did get a chance to do a review on, but I had loaned it out recently to my good friend on the West Coast, Mr. Dirk Warning. He did a really nice review of it, seemed to like it, so I figure, now's my chance. So it is, as you can see by the logo on the pouch, a artisan knife, if you recognize that logo. And Artisan likes to give you these extra wide sort of knife pouches, a little different than Wee and Reich and some of the other brands and Best Tech. So that's fine. Means we got a lot of room. The only thing I notice is that they put the openings on the same side. So if you put another knife in there, it knocks against its friend over there. But since I usually only keep one in each pouch because I get one pouch per knife, then I kind of file them that way. Anyway, enough chatter. Here we have a real gem of a knife, a classic beauty, if you will, from Artisan, known as, it's a large knife, so we need room here, the Hyperion. And the Hyperion is a Barlow styled knife. Back in the old days, the Barlow style knife, and you can look up the history. I don't have a lot of that history. It's basically, you have a clip point style blade, and along with the blade style, the reverse taper, if you will, of the handle is characteristic of the Barlow style knives. Of course, the originals were slip joints and didn't have the benefit of a liner lock or a frame lock. So this is a large knife by Artisan. The designer is D. Rocket. And I believe he has a presence on Instagram. I don't know a whole lot about him. The knife is made in China, as are most Artisans. And the steel is S35VN, so we've got a quality steel. An absolutely beautiful satin finish, almost bordering on mirror. Great grind lines. Nice point, kind of a hooked clip point, classic Bowie style, as I said. Very flat. Let's take a few measurements, starting with some of the thicknesses and widths here. So only 0.47 handle width. And 3.2 millimeter blade stock, so not particularly thick for a knife this size. Notice that the branding, although there's a fair amount of it there, pretty good sized logo for D Rocket, and some of the smaller print for the steel and place of manufacture. And then on the other side, just the Artisan logo, as well as on the pivot, nicely machined into that pivot. T8 on the other side for takedown. A real classy kind of blasted finish on the titanium bolsters. Real nice, classy look. Long, fuller. And the flipper tab. This knife is perfectly drop shutty. No adjustments made. I think I've used a little oil on it. A little KPL, that's about it. But it just has a slightly weak detent. Easy to fail. You could tighten it up if you didn't like that, if you happen to have one. It's about right now running to about a little over 200 for this. But you do get carbon fiber, a really nice weave. You get flat screws, not too many of them. You get an interesting angled clip that follows the direction of the top line there, or bottom line of the handle. Do we have any weight relieving? Again, I'm falling short on that some of these days and not mentioning it. There is no weight relieving on this knife. However, when you have inset handles, either G10 or in this case carbon fiber, you lose a lot of dimension on the handle. So it's the liners are a little thicker, and you lose some of the metal material there. Takes away some of the weight, but we're going to see what the weight is in just a moment. But first, overall, 9 1/8 inch. Well, 9 1/16. Full 4-inch blade to the handle with a 3 7/8 cutting edge. Got a sharpening choil there. Let's see what it weighs. So we have just a skosh under 5 ounces, 4.945. So it doesn't quite make the ounce per inch blade length, but the feeling of it for the size is not heavy at all. Very easily moved, reflexive action on the knife, whether you're doing carving or EDC, or you choose to use it for tactical. Not really. It's more of a large gentleman's knife, I would say. Certainly up to tasks. Good steel for it. Very fine edge. Let's see what that edge will do for us. I'm going to carve up all my notes. Got to keep my Kubi notes around so I remember what styles I'm reviewing down the line. Whoa, that's not supposed to happen. It's a pretty sharp edge. It's not scary sharp, but it's sharp. And we have a high grind. I don't usually measure thickness behind the edge, but it's thin, I would say, without being extremely so. Look at those nasty fingerprints I just put on the blade. Tisk tisk. Good thing for microfiber. So let's see if we missed anything here. Just take another look over. Open back for most of it. Did I mention that we've got a nice, I think I began to get to this point. Artisan has their name on the backspacer, which is titanium, which is kind of interesting. And we do have a nicely hidden lanyard pin there. So you lanyard buffs. Very nice. That allows us to have a solid handle with no holes through from the side. And at first I didn't really care for the style, but once I got the knife and just worked it a while and saw how easily and smoothly this thing opens, it's just, if you excuse the expression, Rolex watch of a knife. But certainly not at that price point. Let's do some comparisons. Largest one first, Ontario Rat 1 is not going to be as large as this big boy. And if we do that, it looks even smaller. See the thing about perspective, right? And we'll put the Griptilian up. Griptilian's going to shrink next to it, relatively speaking. So, you know, we got a large knife at a little over 9 inches. Anything approaching 9 or a little over 9 is, in my book, a large folder. So if you like them large and pretty and smooth, this is the way to go. I would say this is, you know, in custom territory as far as fit and finish go. One other thing we could mention is that there's very little, if any, differential between these two materials, between the bolster and the carbon fiber. Same thing on this side. Bolster locking knife, you know, if you want to give it a proper name. But that is the Artisan Hyperion. And it's a really sweet knife. Hope you enjoyed this. Give it a like. And don't forget to subscribe. This Old Sword signing out.